Okay. So I queued this bombshell up.
Okay.
So this is I just scrolled down a tiny bit. So this is day one of them reaching back out to me again.
Okay, after the pandemic.
Started in March. Yeah, March 31st.
Oh, this is still March.
This is the same day. I literally just scrolled
it.
down like 2 messages. I skipped some more riddles and vagary. So we operate beneath what is considered the mainstream levels. See the document in which operatives were taken out of currency. So they're implying that something in this article is talking about their operatives, or just operatives, I guess you could say, taken out of currency, like arrested, I guess. Especially because, so I've learned, because of Pegasus especially, don't click on links, but I just Googled the words.
Never click on links.
Never. Or you're fucked, because you don't even need to.
Right.
So I Googled this, Harvard University professor and 2 Chinese nationals charged in 3, and that was enough for the Department of Justice article that they sent me here to come up. And I don't know if you want to show that, but pretty much what it talks about.
Are you showing this right now, Steve?
I am.
Okay, cool.
Or I mean, even to show that article.
Can you pull up that article, that justice.gov article? Harvard University professor and 2 Chinese nationals charged. I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah, it's the first thing that comes up. It's the Department of Justice article, and it talks about this guy, Dr. Charles Lieber.
Okay.
Who, considering the gravity of who he is, what he's done, and what he did in this case, like, I'm so surprised that nobody knows about him. I think there was like maybe a New York Times article, but it kind of skated under the radar. Pretty much I think it was in December of 2019, this guy, who is maybe the world's foremost nanobiologist,
right,
is arrested in at Boston Logan Airport, fleeing the country by the Department of Justice for lying to the Department of Justice about taking money from the Chinese government.
Whoa.
And specifically the 1,000 Talents program, which is essentially a program they have that is made to attract all of the best talent in all realms from around the world, and use it to advance their, goals. And
Lieber, the W, what does the WUT stand for? The Wuhan, the Wuhan University of Technology.
Wuhan, by the way, is where he works in China. This guy.
But he was going from Boston to Wuhan?
I don't know if he was going to Wuhan, but he was fleeing because he knew that he was about to get arrested.
And he worked at that lab in Wuhan?
Yeah, he worked at MIT and Harvard, and he had Department of Defense contracts, and was secretly working with the Chinese.
Jesus.
And the fucked up, so also in this article it talks about 2 of his students who were also arrested, I think in San Francisco, fleeing, who turned out to be Chinese agents. So this guy is developing injectable, and you can find this on the MIT website. It's like one of the first things that come up when you search this guy on their archives. Injectable nanotechnology that embeds itself in your nervous system and can monitor and manipulate it. And so the front-facing application is, if you have Alzheimer's, maybe there's a way to like Iron Man, like that, like, I don't know what movie that was, where it's like nanotechnology and it can maybe make your life better, make you, remember things and make people who can't walk again.
Like Neuralink, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The lowest hanging fruit for Neuralink is to paralyze people, get them to walk again.
Right. Like how altruistic, how wonderful. But why is the Department of Defense interested in this? Why
it's like the iceberg, the little bit that's above the water, and then the giant fucking underbelly.
Yeah. This guy's arrested, and his students were arrested fleeing with the technology, something that they had worked on together. And I won't. Can
you pull up this guy's profile real quick, Steve?
Yeah, go to like the MIT website.
Yeah, go to Charles. What's his last name?
Lieber. Lieber. Or LEI? I don't know.
Yeah. Google just Charles Lieber and see what his bio says. No, this story is everywhere, which is interesting. All right, just click on Wikipedia.
But like, you never heard, like, I haven't talked to anyone who's known about him before.
American chemist, inventor, and nanotechnologist and writer. In 2011, he was named the leading chemist in the world for the decade of 2013 through 2000 and 2010 by Thomson Reuters. Based on the impact of his scientific publications, he is known for his contributions to the synthesis, assembly, and characterization of nanoscale materials and nano devices, the application of nanoelectronic devices in biology, and a mentor to numerous leaders in nanoscience. Professor at Harvard University has published over 400 papers in peer-reviewed journals and has edited and contributed to many books in nanoscience. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
What does this say? In 2012, Lieber was awarded the Wolf Prize in Chemistry in a special ceremony held in Israel, in the Israeli Knesset.
Oh, God. Chat's going to go crazy.
Oh, yeah. The chat's going wild right now.
Well, Lieber is a Jewish last name, but also Lebow is.
Is Lebow Jewish?
Yeah, and they'll probably hate me
Jewish?
for that, too. Well, I grew up Jewish. My dad's Jewish. My mom converted. So, yeah, I'm one of them, I guess.
You control the world.
If you want to go there. Yeah, convicted of 6 felonies, lying to the Department of Justice.
Wow. Dude, that is crazy.
Yeah. And this
So
all
where
happened.
is he now?
I think he's in jail. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really follow up on that, but and this all happened in December. So like
Of 2020 or 2019.
Of 2019.
2019.
I think. I mean, actually, I don't know what the in December 2021.
December 2021.
Well, no, that's when he was convicted.
Okay, that's when he was convicted of the felonies.
Yeah.
Okay, but when did that DOJ article get published?
That was
2020 January.
January of
okay,
2020.
so right after the pandemic.
Yeah.
jail. He was arrested in 2020.
Okay. Yep, and then convicted 2 years later.
Yeah. So
That makes sense.
yeah, so the world is wondering what's going on. It's December, it's January, and suddenly this guy is fleeing the country. He's working for China and all this stuff.
He's getting paid. How much money did he get paid by China?
I thought it was like hundreds of thousands, but then my buddy on the show was like, no, he saw something that was like millions.
It paid Lieber. The Wuhan University of Technology paid him $50,000 per month, plus living expenses of up to $1 million. So this says approximately 160,000,
million Chinese yen.
and awarded him more than 1.5 million to establish a research lab in Wuhan. Okay,
In Wuhan, come on. Wow. In Wuhan.
bro, this is crazy. So what was this nanotechnology? What did this have to do with Wuhan?
So that's where there's like a ton of dots, and they're not connected, but they're right.
By the way, let me
next to
say
each
this.
other.
This episode could very likely be purposely censored, certain words that we're saying by us to keep it safe for YouTube, because this is the kind of episode that YouTube likes to demonetize and suppress. So we might have to blank out a couple words. I don't know if we are yet. We'll analyze that later. But if it's not, there'll be the full unredacted version on Patreon if you want to listen to that. So go ahead.
Sorry, pushing buttons.
No. We're doing what we got to do, man. But just like I don't know how familiar you are with YouTube.
I've seen such things.
It's closer to China than our idea of the United States.
I imagine you'll take that out too.
No, I'll leave that in.
Oh, really? Okay.
But when you talk about, like, I don't know if you're aware, but in the middle of the pandemic, no matter who you were, there was like practicing doctors who went on YouTube to talk about therapies, like alternative therapies for COVID, and YouTube literally deleted their channels.
Yeah.
Because they said it was damaging or harmful to people, because they wanted the vaccine to be the only lane of preventative medicine for to deal with the pandemic, nothing else.
Right.
So if you went on YouTube and said anything about any other sort of treatment or any preventative maintenance or preventative alternatives to the vaccine, they would literally ban your channel or delete your channel or like completely block the videos. It was pretty scary shit. But it's let up since. But still
to an extent. I mean, this is iffy territory, I think, in that realm.
Yeah.
But so maybe you want to believe that the reason that they were doing that was because the government cares about you and your health and wants you to be happy and safe, or some other reason. Could just be, monetary gain. You could say that a conspiracy would be that the people in the government who are, making those laws and monitoring those streaming platforms are getting subsidized from the companies that are, whatever.
Yes. Very likely.
But then there's this too.
Yeah. Then there's this. You can't ignore. This is undeniable. You can't ignore this.
So I mean, I start doing a deep dive, and by the way, also
me and Max are not suicidal.
Yeah, it's funny how many podcasts I've been on so far where people have had to say that, but yeah, definitely not. So how is this relevant to 5G?
Yes, how is this relevant? How is this relevant to Wuhan and the gain of function research that was going on, and the virus?
Well, the gain of I mean, if you're kind of believing everything that G is saying, the gain of function might have even been smoke and mirrors. Might have even been, look over here, while we're doing this, while Lieber's cooking up this injectable nanotechnology that literally like builds itself. It's like, I mean, people might want to compare it to like graphene or something, but I don't know if that's exactly what it is.
What is graphene?
The whole like graphene oxide thing, like the thing. People are saying like, oh, that's what's in the vaccine, and it can
I haven't even heard of
has
that.
like a life of its own or something. I don't know, but I don't know if that's true, and I don't know if this is true. But well, actually, I do know that in the stuff that he developed, it's essentially what's the word, like self. There's a word, but it builds itself. It like assimilates molecules from around it and builds itself. So you like put a small bit in, and it like expands. Fact check. I don't know.
Right.